Structural organization in animals. So, all living organisms are majorly of two types. They are unicellular or multicellular organism. Unicellular are single cells and can perform all essential functions of life like digestion, respiration, etc. Multicellular, having many cells perform in a coordinated manner like Hydra, which has different types of cells, and each cell has thousands of cells again. Now cells form tissue which forms organ system. Now cells form tissue which in specific proportion and pattern forms the organ, and organs with the physical or chemical interaction forms the organ system. Animal tissue is majorly of four types: the epithelial tissue, connective tissue, muscular tissue, and neural tissue. The epithelial tissue have free surface which faces either a body fluid or the outside environment, and thus provides a covering or lining for some part of the body. So epithelial tissue have free surface which faces either the body fluid or the outside environment, and thus provides a covering or lining of some part of the body. Cells are compactly, means जैसे solids में होते हैं वैसे here the cells are compactly packed with little intercellular matrix. Now majorly there are different types of two types of epithelium, simple and compound, and simple is again further divided into many types. The simple epithelium, single layers of cells, linings of body cavities, ducts, which is PCT and DCT, and tubes. The simple squamous epithelium, single layer of flattened cells with irregular boundaries, found in the walls of blood vessels and in the lungs or in the air sacs of lungs. So squamous epithelium, just remember, found in the walls of blood vessels and in the air sacs of lung. Then we have the squamous epithelium forms of diffusion boundary, very important. The cuboidal epithelium is single layer of cube-like cells found in the ducts of glands PCT and DCT and the tubular parts of nephrons and kidneys. Function is secretion. Squamous only a diffusion boundary, cuboidal secretion and absorption. The PCT of nephron is microvilli. Next we have the columnar epithelium, single layer of tall and slender cells. Nuclei is located at the base. Free surface made of microvilli found in the lining of stomach and intestine. Function again secretion and absorption. They have cilia known as ciliated epithelium. They means here cuboidal and columnar epithelium. The function of the cilia is to move the particle of mucus in a specific direction over epithelium and located in the inner surface of hollow organs like fallopian tubes or bronchioles. Let me just recap this. Basically, simple epithelium, single layers of cells. Squamous epithelium, single layer of flattened cells with irregular boundaries found in the air sacs of lungs and in the where it was found, and in the walls of blood vessels. Function is forming a diffusion boundary. Cuboidal epithelium, single layer of cube-like cells found in the DCT and PCT and tubular parts of nephrons. Function is secretion and absorption. The PCT has microvilli. The columnar epithelium, single layer of cube-like cells, nuclei located at the base. Function is secretion and absorption, found in the lining of the stomach and intestine. And the columnar cuboidal may have cilia, and which helps to move the mucus or a particle over the epithelium in a specific direction. They are found in the inner parts of the hollow organs and the internal organs like fallopian tubes and bronchioles. Next we have specialized columnar or cuboidal cells for secretions. So specialized cuboidal and columnar cells, they have cilia, I already told you, and then the specialized version of the cuboidal or columnar cells are for the secretions, that is forming the glandular epithelium, which can be unicellular, multicellular. Unicellular gland like the goblet cell of the alimentary canal, multicellular like the salivary gland. So simply specialized columnar or cuboidal epithelium forming the glandular epithelium, unicellular and multicellular. Unicellular goblet cell of alimentary canal, multicellular the salivary gland. Next we have two types of glands on the basis of mode of secretion, exocrine and endocrine. Endocrine produce hormones and they secrete into the they are ductless gland and secrete into body fluid directly, whereas exocrine secrete mucus, earwax or saliva and released into ducts or tubes. Next we come across compound epithelium. It has many layers. So the compound epithelium has many layers of cells. The major function is protection against chemical and mechanical stress and little role in absorption and secretion. It covers the dry surface of the skin. So basically it covers the dry surface of the skin, moist surface of the buccal cavity and inner linings of the ducts of salivary gland. So covering the dry surface which you can feel on your skin, dry surface of the skin, moist surface, the buccal cavity near the mouth which we have pharynx and inner lining of the ducts of salivary glands and of pancreatic. So see, pharynx, buccal cavity, inner linings of the ducts of salivary glands and pancreatic ducts. Next we have cell junctions which provide structural and functional link between its individual cells. Majorly three types: tight junction, gap junction, adhering junction. Tight junction prevent the leakage of substance across the tissue, and gap junction and adhering junction performs cementing to keep the neighboring cells together. Gap junction helps in cell to cell communication by connecting the cytoplasm of the adjoining cells. So it helps in cell to cell, it helps in communication of the cell by connecting the cytoplasm of the adjoining cells, and it allows rapid transfer of ions, small molecules, sometimes big molecules also. Next we have connective tissue, which is most abundant tissue and it is widely distributed. Very important point. The most abundant tissue and widely distributed tissue in the body is connective tissue. It is called connective tissue. Why? Because of its special function of linking and supporting other tissues and organs of the body. In all connective except blood. So blood is the one where the cells secrete fibers of structural proteins. So सब में यानी कि in all the connective tissues there is collagen present, which is structural fibers of structural proteins, collagen or elastin. So simply remember, collagen and elastin are present in all connective tissue except blood. Collagen or elastin provides strength, elasticity, flexibility to the tissue, and also secrete modified polysaccharides which accumulate between the cells and fibers and acts as matrix or ground substance. यानी कि connective tissue में सब में फाइबर्स ऑफ स्ट्रक्चरल प्रोटीन्स जिसे हम कोलाजन या फिर इलास्टिन बोलते हैं, और ये स्ट्रेंथ देते हैं, इलास्टिसिटी देते हैं, फ्लेक्सिबिलिटी देते हैं टिश्यू को, बट दिस इज एब्सेंट इन ब्लड. एंड द कोलाजन एंड इलास्टिन प्रोवाइड स्ट्रेंथ, इलास्टिसिटी एंड फ्लेक्सिबिलिटी टू द टिश्यू, एंड इट ऑल्सो secretes. So the collagen or elastin secrete mucopolysaccharides or modified polysaccharides which accumulate between the cells and fibers and acts as matrix. So matrix is a ground substance which consists of mucopolysaccharides or modified polysaccharides and certain fibers which is accumulated between the cells and fibers. Now we have loose, dense and specialized connective tissue. Specialized, I already told you, skeletal and vascular connective tissue. Obviously specialized में blood और bone तो आएगा ही. So skeletal, as the name suggests, skeletal means bone and cartilage, and as the name suggests, vascular connective tissue, blood and limb. Blood does not have elastin or collagen, whereas other all connective tissue do have. The loose connective tissue, adipose tissue, which is located beneath the skin. And one thing to note in my notes is here, this is adipose tissue written and it is wrong, it is not right. What should be written here is areolar tissue. Okay. So just understand that it is areolar tissue. Okay, the areolar tissue is located beneath the skin and acts as a support framework for epithelium. Contains fibroblast, mast cells and macrophages. So areolar tissue is for what? It is beneath the skin and support framework and contains fibroblast, mast cells and macrophages. Next we have adipose tissue, basically for storing fat, a kind of special connective tissue and also located beneath the skin. In the adipose tissue, what happens, हम जब खाना खाते हैं, so obviously we have a lot of nutrients, and when the excess of nutrients are not immediately utilized by the body, so they are converted into fats and stored in the adipose tissue. So excess of nutrients which are not immediately consumed by the body are stored in the form of fats under this adipose tissue. Next we have dense connective tissue, that is cells and fibers are compactly packed, obviously. Dense regular and dense irregular. Dense regular connective tissue, the dermis of the skin. Dense irregular connective tissue, collagen fiber present in rows between many parallel bundles of fibers. So supposingly ये जैसे एक डेंस रेगुलर कनेक्टिव टिश्यू हो जाएगा, देखो ऐसे, these are the collagen fibers and बीच में proteins है. Okay, this is example of dense regular connective tissue, but the example of dense irregular connective tissue would be like somewhere like this. It would be anything like this, and there would be proteins of not same size. So this is dense irregular tissue example. Okay, so see, dense regular and dense irregular connective tissue. Collagen fibers, I already told you, fibers present in rows in many parallel bundles of fibers. Dense irregular connective tissue. There is tendon and ligament. How remember bubbly? Just remember bubbly. So bubbly is BABLI. So ligament contains BB, means bone to bone, and tendon contains bone to the muscle. Next we have the bone. So bone is a very important specialized skeletal connective tissue. Functions will be what? Think it's simply the structural frame to the body and protect the softer organs, weight bearing, long bones of the legs, and movements of the muscles, the skeletal and blood cell formation, RBC, in the red bone marrow. Next we have cartilage present in the outer ear joints, in the hyaline cartilage, C-shaped cartilage, which is tracheal rings, costal ribs, and nasal septum, white fibrous intervertebral disc, yellow elastic ear, pinna, and tip of nose. Simply see here. बोन जब याद करोगे तो बोन का फंक्शन याद करना, हमें प्रोटेक्ट द सॉफ्टवेयर ऑर्गेन्स और हमारे स्ट्रक्चरल फ्रेम प्रोवाइड करता है, वेट बियरिंग, मूवमेंट्स एंड ब्लड सेल फॉर्मेशन इन रेड बोन मैरो. कार्टिलेज, हाइलेन कार्टिलेज याद आ जाएगा. सो ट्रैकियल रिंग्स, कोस्टल रिब्स, इन नेजल सेप्टम, एंड वाइट फाइब्रस होता है. एक वाइट फाइब्रस कार्टिलेज होता है, एक येलो इलास्टिन फाइबर्स होता है. सो वाइट फाइबर्स प्रेजेंट इन द intervertebral disc and yellow fiber in the tip of the nose and ear pinna, and cartilage is also present in the outer ear joints. Next we have bone. I already told you about bone, that is its functions, but bone is matrix is hard and non-pliable, whereas cartilage matrix is soft and pliable, and cartilage resists. So this is basically the difference you can say between bone and cartilage. So see, bone having matrix hard and it is non-pliable, whereas cartilage having solid and pliable matrix and resist compression. Bone having osteocyte cells, cartilage CC means chondrocyte cells. Bone is having periosteum as the covering, whereas cartilage has perichondrium. Bone is vascular. Obviously bone is vascular because it has vessels, so it is vascular, allows the blood flow, whereas cartilage is avascular. Osteocyte singly is present in the lacuna. So see, ये अगर जैसे एक सेल बना है तो ये जो गोल गोल ऐसे बना है, ठीक है, इसको देखो, ये जो है ये से ब्लैक वाले जो मैंने बनाए हैं यहाँ पे, ये हमारे हो जाएंगे ऑस्टियोसाइट्स, सिंगल सेल्स प्रेजेंट इन द lacuna. So these are the osteocyte cells and this is the lacuna, and in the middle this one wait, this one is the Haversian canal, and this one is the lamella or the concentric layers of the matrix. So इसमें osteocytes होते हैं सिंगल, जिसमें बीच वाला Haversian canal होता है. कोलाजन कॉन्ड्रेक्टोसाइट्स, कोलाजन फाइबर्स ऑब्वियसली प्रेजेंट होंगे. ये देखो यहाँ पे ये एक सेल है जिसमें ये जो साइड में ऐसे जो है ना, ये कोलाजन फाइबर्स है. ये एक सेल के अंदर ये छोटे छोटे जो है, ये दो छोटे छोटे जो हैं इसके बीच के अंदर से न्यूक्लियस, ये हो गए कॉन्ड्रेक्टोसाइट्स इन ग्रुप, ठीक है. लास्टली हमारा सेकेंड लास्ट हमारा आता है मस्कुलर टिश्यू, फिर नर्वस टिश्यू. Muscular tissue is for contraction, shorten in response to stimulus, excitability, extensibility, relax, lengthen, elasticity, return to uncontracted state in coordinated fashion. Active role in all movements of the body. Muscle क्या बनता है? Muscle से muscle bundle बनता है, muscle fiber बनता है, cell बनता है, myofibrils बनता है. Now majorly ये 3 टाइप के होते हैं, 1, 2 and this 3. First of all we have skeletal muscles, smooth muscles and cardiac muscles. Skeletal muscles attached to the skeletal bones and the cells or fibers are cylindrical, multinucleated, singlet, voluntary, striated, fatigue, present, no junctions. I'm repeating. Skeletal muscles, obviously they would be attaching themselves to skeletal bones and they are very important, multinucleated, singlet, and they are voluntary and having striations and they have fatigue present and there is no junctions like the intercalated disc which is present in cardiac muscles. Smooth muscles, it is involuntary, unstriated and it is uninucleated. It is present in the internal organs, that is blood vessels, stomach and intestine, fusiform. So see, this is this is fusiform, tapering at both ends, uninucleate, involuntary, unstriated, fatigue absent, gap junction and adhering junctions are present. Okay. I'm repeating. Smooth muscles present in the internal organs like stomach, intestine, blood vessels, fusiform, taper at both ends, uninucleate, involuntary and unstriated, fatigue absent and gap junction and adhering junctions are present, which is absent in skeletal muscles. Now cardiac muscles, we all are present in the heart, cylindrical, uninucleated, multinucleated is only one, which is skeletal muscles. See, multinucleated is only one, which is skeletal muscles. Cardiac muscles are uninucleated, involuntary, striated, fatigue, never, intercalated disc. So intercalated disc are present, which is gap junction plus adhering junction to contract together as a unit. It is contracting as a unit. यहाँ पे भी gap junction और adhering junction smooth muscles में present है, but they are not contracting together as a unit. Lastly, we have the neural tissue, which is it is exerting the greatest control. क्योंकि सब कुछ दिमाग से ही होता है. So the greatest control over the body's response to changing environment. The neuron is suitably stimulated. Obviously, जब एक सिग्नल आएगा so neuron is suitably stimulated and एक electrical disturbance flow करेगा and electrical disturbance is generated which swiftly travels along plasma membrane, where it travels along plasma membrane, arrive at neuron ending output zone. So neuron ending output zone, stimulate the inhibition of adjacent, stimulate और inhibit the adjacent neuron. समझ आया नहीं? देखो, जब हमारा न्यूरॉन स्टिमुलेट किया जाता है तो एक इलेक्ट्रिकल डिस्टर्बेंस ऑब्वियसली जनरेट होगा और वो जो इलेक्ट्रिकल डिस्टर्बेंस जनरेट होगा वो स्विफ्टली यानी कि आराम से फ्लो करेगा प्लाज्मा मेम्ब्रेन के अक्रॉस और वो न्यूरो मस्कुलर जंक्शन यानी कि न्यूरॉन के एंड के पार्ट में आएगा और वो स्टिमुलेट करेगा या फिर इनहिबिट करेगा ऑफ दैट एडजेसेंट न्यूरॉन. न्यूरॉन सबको पता है स्ट्रक्चर एंड फंक्शनल यूनिट ऑफ सेल होता है, ये एक्साइटेबल होते हैं. And next we have neuroglia, which supports and protects neurons. So which cell supports and protects neurons? Which cells support and protects neuron? Neuroglia support and protects the neurons. Neuroglia make more than half of volume of neural cells. So make more than half of volume of neural cells. What make half of volume of neural tissues? The neuroglia make half of the volume of neural tissues. Neuroglia is of majorly many 4 types, you can say. The Schwann cells, myelin sheath in peripheral nervous system, the oligodendrocytes in which is again myelin sheath in the central nervous system, microglia, phagocytic astrocytes, packaging neuron, blood brain barrier. So basically we studied about neural tissue, which is the greatest control over the body, and how does the electrical disturbance cause the neuron to stimulate or inhibit. Neuroglia is supporting, so neuroglia occupies half of the volume of the nervous tissue and neural tissue or the nervous tissue, and neuroglia is majorly 4 types: Schwann cells, the myelin sheath present in peripheral nervous system, oligodendrocyte, myelin sheath in central nervous system, and microglia, which is phagocytic in nature, and astrocytes, packaging neuron, and in blood brain barrier. Thank you.